Hello, treasure hunters, explorers, and symbol decoders. Welcome back to Treasure Hunters Club, where ancient signs meet modern minds. Today's episode kicks off a deep dive into one of the most iconic and misunderstood symbols in treasure hunting. History. The ring sign, that smooth, carved circle you've probably seen etched into weathered stone. Is it just decoration? Or could it be the key to something buried beneath centuries of silence? Let's break it down. What is the ring symbol? The ring sign, also known as the circle, halo, or target mark, is a round geometric figure, usually engraved directly onto rock or stone surfaces. It can be a single, simple circle, a double ring, like a bullseye, or a concentric set of rings, often resembling a target. Sometimes the carving is smooth and shallow. Other times it's deep and defined. What's key is that it wasn't random. These were deliberately placed and often geometrically perfect, meaning they were made with purpose, and most likely with tools. Why geometry matters. Now here's something that sets apart real ring signs from natural erosion or meaningless carvings: symmetry and proportion. A true ring sign has a near-perfect circular shape, may align with the compass north-south direction, shows consistent groove depth and width, appears in a spot that doesn't make sense unless someone placed it there intentionally. This precision suggests that the person or people who made it wanted it to last. Why? Likely because it pointed to something important, a location, a passage, a cache, or even a warning. Common variations. Let's explore some variations you might encounter. Single ring usually represents a central area of interest. It might mark the center of a radius, or it could be a neutral sign telling you to investigate around it. Double ring. Now this is where it gets interesting. Double rings, especially if perfectly spaced, are often interpreted as symbols of protection or guarded treasure. Sometimes it's used to mark territory boundaries of ancient burial sites or sacred vaults. Ring with dot in the center. This version is crucial. It can mean start here or look beneath. Think of it like a bullseye. The dot is often considered the target point. Ring with lines or notches. A small cut or groove on one side of the ring may indicate direction. A line extending out from the ring can hint at distance or orientation. Material and placement. Ring signs are almost always found on stable surfaces, cliff walls, standing stones, large, immovable boulders, sometimes near cave entrances or ancient trails. Why? Because they were meant to endure weather, erosion, and time. But what's even more telling is what's around the ring. Treasure signs almost never work in isolation. A ring sign is a starting clue, but it's the environment that gives it meaning. Ask yourself, is the ring facing a valley? Is it pointing toward a water source? Are there additional markings nearby? If the answer is yes, that ring may be a gateway marker. Symbol or decoy? Let's address the elephant in the room. How do we know if a ring sign is legitimate or fake? Here are some red flags for fakes or natural formations. Uneven carving, no context, no other markings nearby. Recent scratch marks, soft stone types that degrade quickly. Genuine signs are often accompanied by weathering consistent with the surrounding. Rock, companion symbols, dots, arrows, feet, etc. Orientation toward a natural feature. In some cases, they may appear ritually placed, such as in sacred sites or burial grounds. The ring as a directional tool. One of the most fascinating uses of the ring sign is as a reference marker. Let's say a ring has a cut on the edge. Many believe that's your true north. From there, count steps in the direction of the notch. Measure paces based on ring diameter. Some signs were scaled. Look for receiving stones, other rocks or carvings that continue the message. So in this theory, the ring isn't the destination, it's the compass, cultural significance. Different ancient cultures use circles symbolically. Romans used circular vault layouts. Greeks often carved circular altar zones. Ottomans marked sacred spaces with ring patterns. Celtic tribes believed circles protected spiritual energy. So when we see a ring symbol, we're possibly looking at a cultural mark of significance, not just a code for treasure, but perhaps both. What should you do if you find one? Document everything. Note its size, depth, and location. Check for associated signs, dots, feet, triangles. Look for elevation changes or hollow sounds nearby. And always, respect the site. Not all rings lead to treasure, but many lead to history. So next time you're in the wild and come across a carved circle on stone, don't walk past it. The ring symbol. Symbolism and Historical Origins. Hey there, treasure seekers and symbol decoders. Welcome back to Treasure Hunters Club, the place where ancient signs and lost meanings come back to life. In today's episode, we're going deep into the symbolism and historical roots of one of the most widely seen and widely misinterpreted treasure signs of all time, the ring, or the circle sign, as some call it. You've seen it carved on rock faces, hidden in temple stones, or etched into time-worn boulders. But what does it actually mean? Let's find out. 1. The circle as a universal symbol. Across human history, the circle has always held meaning. Unlike squares or triangles, the circle has no beginning, no end, no sharp corners, a continuous path. This made it a powerful representation of eternity, wholeness, protection, and divine unity, long before treasure hunters started analyzing it. In fact, in many cultures, drawing a circle was a sacred act. It symbolized infinity or the cosmic cycle of life and death. 2. The circle in ancient civilizations. Let's talk history. Real, ancient symbolism. Ancient Greece. The circle represented the divine order. Think of the sun, the wheel of time, and even temple layouts. Circular altars and temple courtyards weren't just practical, they were symbolic of unity between humans and gods. Ancient Rome. Romans adopted similar meanings. The circular vault in tombs wasn't just architecture. It reflected beliefs about eternity, rebirth, and spiritual containment. The halo around divine figures, yes, that's a circle too, symbolized sacred power. Celtic tribes. Circles were used in stone arrangements to trap or concentrate spiritual energy. The ring was often part of burial markings or sacred grounds, which has obvious implications for us treasure hunters. 3. Circle as a symbol of protection. Now let's connect that symbolism to the field. In treasure sign interpretation, the ring is often seen as a protector symbol. Why? Because circles enclose and guard what's within them. A ring can mark the boundary of a hidden chamber. It can signal something of value lies within, or is being protected by this symbol. In some cases, it warns, this is not meant to be disturbed. Many believe ring signs were used as spiritual or magical seals, placed deliberately to protect a buried object, vault, or sacred offering. 4. Misleading the seeker. Is the treasure inside the ring? Now here's where things get tricky and interesting. A lot of new hunters see a ring sign and think the treasure is right here underneath. But what if that's wrong? Many experienced researchers believe that the ring doesn't mark the treasure itself, but rather a focal point around which you must investigate. The center may be empty. The real value could lie beside, behind, or even beneath a secondary layer. The ring might mark a safe radius, a ritual zone, or even just the starting clue in a larger puzzle. This is why context is everything. Look for additional signs nearby, differences in terrain, unusual alignments with sun or shadow. 5. Interpreting the ring symbol intelligently. You need more than luck to understand a ring symbol. You need logic. You need history. And most of all, you need patience. Let me give you a few working theories based on field studies. A single ring could mean survey the surroundings. A ring with a notch could mean measure in this direction. A ring with a central dot might be saying target this point but dig smart. Combine these with cultural context and you've got a much better shot at interpreting the message left behind. This is where treasure hunting becomes more than a dig. It becomes decoding. A language lost in stone. 6. Caution, sacred ground or treasure trap. Let's be responsible here. A lot of ring symbols aren't treasure signs at all. They're ritual markers, burial references, or even spiritual seals. Disturbing them can be disrespectful or even dangerous. Depending on the terrain, always take care to document and understand before you act. Being a great treasure hunter means being a great researcher, not just a digger. The ring as a symbol and a sign. So, what does the ring sign tell us? It tells us that the ancients believed in energy, in unity, and in protection. It tells us that value isn't always where you expect it to be, and it tells us that sometimes the greatest treasure is knowledge. The ring sign and its directional meaning. Hey treasure hunters, symbol seekers, and ancient code breakers. Welcome back to another episode of Treasure Hunters Club, where we don't just dig, we decode. Today, we're continuing our series on the ring sign, and this time we're talking about something that separates beginners from the experienced, its directional power. Because the ring isn't just a symbol, it's a compass, a pointer, a clue that might just tell you where to walk next. 1. Beyond the circle, it's not just a shape. Let's get one thing clear, a ring sign is never just a circle. Sometimes it has tiny additions, barely noticeable, a notch on the edge, a small dot inside, a scratch line, or even a tiny arrowhead carved subtly beside it. And guess what? That's the language. That's where the sign starts speaking. These marks are directional cues, possibly telling you go 5 steps north. Check 2 meters to the right. The value isn't here, it's over there. So we're not just looking at a ring, we're reading a coded message carved in stone. 2. How to recognize directional indicators. Let's talk about what to look for when analyzing a ring sign for direction. A. Notch or nick on the edge. This could be a starting direction. A. Shallow groove pointing outward. A chipped part of the ring that's not accidental. It might be pointing toward another marker. B. Internal dot or divot. When there's a small dot inside the ring, pay attention to its position. Center, off-center. Is it aligned with any visible land feature? Often interpreted as a distance reference, you might be meant to measure from that point outward. C. External lines or arrows. Sometimes you'll find a short line extending from the ring, a triangular or arrow-like tip. These may indicate direction and depth. Many experienced treasure hunters believe this is a measure and move system, like from the edge of the ring, walk 10 paces toward that hill. 3. The ring isn't always the target. Here's a huge misunderstanding in field treasure hunting. Most people think the ring is marking the exact spot. They start digging right there, but that's often not what the ancients intended. Instead, the ring is a central reference point. It marks the location to begin interpretation, not excavation. Think about it this way, the ring. Here is your clue. The groove, notch, chunk, line. Now follow this path. The real treasure likely lies in relation to the ring, not inside it. 4. Investigating the surroundings. When you find a ring sign, here's how to conduct a proper field investigation. A. Check for terrain variations. Is there a natural dip or hollow nearby? Can you spot a slightly discolored patch of earth? Any loose or irregular stones? These might be covering something. B. Examine nearby rock faces. Look for matching or related symbols. Scan the ground for aligned markers. Some signs are part of a wider path. C. Use light and shadow. At certain times of day, shadows can reveal carvings or directional extensions you didn't see earlier. Some believe ring signs were designed to align with the sun or moon. 5. Working theories in field interpretation. Based on field logs and oral traditions, here are some common interpretations of ring signs with directional cues. A ring with a groove to the north. Walk 5 to 10 paces in that direction and look for a cavity. A ring with a central dot off to one side. That side may represent an entrance. Or vault a ring with parallel scratches. May suggest stairs or multi-level structures. And remember, the size of the ring could relate to distance or depth. Some hunters claim that a larger ring can mean greater distance to the actual site. 6. Examples from the field. Let's say you find a ring on a rock slab with a small arrow pointing northeast. You follow that direction and find a tree stump with an unnatural stone beside it, a narrow hollow in the ground, a subtle difference in soil color. These clues, combined, tell you you're on the right path because the ring didn't point to itself. It pointed to the next step. That's how ancient sign systems work. Layered clues, progressive logic, ritual precision. So what did we learn? The ring sign is not just an ancient doodle. It's a navigational tool, a stone map, a message from another time, waiting to be heard by someone who's ready to listen. Every notch, dot, or angle has meaning. And if you know how to read it, you're no longer just a treasure hunter. You become a decoder of forgotten systems. The ring symbol and its companion marks. If you've ever seen a ring carved on stone with a dot, a cross, or maybe a triangle, and wondered, is this just decoration, or does it mean something? You're about to find out. 1. Why symbols rarely stand alone? In the world of ancient symbols and treasure signs, very few symbols were used on their own, especially when it came to hiding something valuable. The ring symbol is most powerful when combined with other signs. These companion marks help reveal what is hidden, where it is, and how it can be accessed. You can think of it like a sentence. The ring is the subject, but the surrounding symbols complete the message. 2. Common companion symbols and what they mean. Let's break down the most common symbols found alongside ring signs and what they might mean. A. Dot. Center of value. A ring with a dot inside often means the center of the ring holds importance, could indicate the exact point of a vault, burial, or sealed compartment. Sometimes the dot might also mean begin here for measurement, or pacing dot B, cross or plus, spiritual or burial zone, often linked to religious meaning or sacred space. A ring plus cross combination is common near gravesites, ADAC, offering areas, or spiritual seals. Cross direction might show cardinal points, especially east-facing tombs. C. Square, constructed space or man-made structure suggests walls, rooms, or a box-like tomb or cache. Ring plus square may indicate the object is inside a room or under stone cover. D. Triangle, warning or protection. Often seen as a cautionary symbol, especially when pointing upward. Some interpret triangle plus ring as guarded treasure or a trapped area. If triangle points downward, it may relate to depth or buried value. E. Star, high value or rare object. Rare but powerful symbol, indicates something of great significance, possibly ritual items or royal treasure. Ring plus star may also symbolize heavenly blessing or spiritually protected zones. F. Groove or line through the ring. Sealed or locked area. A ring with a line across it is often interpreted as a locked sign, indicates hidden chambers, vaults, or areas not meant to be found easily, might require a key symbol to decode nearby. 3. Understanding symbol combinations. Now let's go further. When these signs are combined, they don't just give information, they form logic chains. Here are some example interpretations. Ring plus dot plus line. Start at the center, but follow the direction of the line. Double ring plus cross. Sacred or protected. Space with multiple layers. Ring plus triangle plus square. Warning, buried object is inside a structure, possibly trapped. Ring plus star plus groove. Highly valuable object in a sealed, hidden compartment. These are not random. They're intentional systems left by cultures who understood symbolic placement and geometry. 4. Companion marks as access keys. In many cases, the secondary marks act as access instructions. They may point to the direction of the entrance. Indicate what tool or approach to use, dig, lift, open, or warn the hunter of spiritual or physical traps. For example, a ring split by a vertical line might mean sealed below, break required. A ring above a square may be indicating door under this slab. A ring next to a triangle and groove could mean step carefully, trapped zone. Some hunters refer to these combinations as stone codes. And just like ancient alphabets, they must be read together. 5. Context is everything. Never read a symbol in isolation. Always ask, where is this symbol located? What kind of terrain surrounds it? Are there natural features it points toward? Could it be part of a larger pattern or path? The ring and its companion signs often form a full instruction set, and if you only look at the ring, you're missing the rest of the map. So what's the big takeaway? The ring symbol is never just a ring, it's the heart of a message, and the marks around it. They're the language, the adjectives, the verbs, the punctuation. Together they tell a story of value, of ritual, and sometimes of warning. The land, the terrain, the setting where the symbol appears, because if you don't understand where a symbol is placed, you might completely miss what it's trying to tell you. Let's break it all down. 1. Where ring symbols are typically found. The first key to interpreting a ring symbol is its location. They're rarely carved at random. You'll most commonly find them on high rock surfaces, near cliff faces or overhangs, on large boulders at slopes or hillsides, around cave entrances or shallow alcoves, occasionally on ancient wall remnants or burial platforms. Why these locations? Because the terrain itself becomes part of the symbol's meaning. A ring carved into a high rock might not mean dig here, it might mean observe this direction or mark this spot above a buried chamber. And geological compatibility. The land must be able to hide. This is crucial. For a ring symbol to truly mean something in the context of treasure hiding, the land beneath or around it must be hollow or allow for a cavity, made of carvable stone like limestone or soft granite, structurally stable to support a hidden chamber, ideally close to water, which often signaled value, ritual use, or ancient trade. So if you find a perfect ring on a flat granite slab with no digging potential, underneath it might be ritual, directional, or a decoy. But if you find it near a cave, a soft slope, or eroded outcrop, now you're in business. 3. Measuring and interpreting the ring itself. Let's talk scale. The diameter of the ring might not be random, it could be symbolic of distance. For example, a ring measuring 1 palm or 1 handspan, non 20 centimeters, might signal 1 pace in a certain direction. Some ancient systems used body-based measurement, hands, feet, elbows, as units in navigation. If there's a notch, dot, or groove, measure from that edge outward. Use the ring as a reference tool. Measure from the center or point of exit and move in the direction marked or suggested. Always measure carefully and consistently. It's what separates success from frustration. 4. What to bring to the field. Modern tools can dramatically enhance ancient sign reading. If you're evaluating a ring symbol in the wild, don't go unprepared. Bring a basic metal detector to locate surface-level metallic traces, a ground-penetrating scanner or void detector for finding empty chambers, a compass or sun compass app. Ring signs sometimes align with celestial directions, a measuring tape or calibrated walking stick for checking distances precisely, a camera and notebook to document and analyze later, and most importantly, patience and logic. Also, don't forget to check the surroundings. Any stacked stones, unnatural rock formations, a subtle echo in one spot that isn't present elsewhere. These clues are everywhere once you learn to look. 5. How terrain strengthens or weakens the symbol's message. A ring symbol means more when it's in the right. In terrain, let's compare two examples. A ring carved on a flat, open, solid granite face with nothing nearby might be ceremonial, marking territory, or a misleading sign. A ring carved above a natural rock cavity near a spring and aligned with sunrise might indicate an Adak offering chamber or the entrance to a hidden tomb or vault. The land is part of the language. Some say the ring is a lock, but the terrain is the key. What does the ring symbol really tell us? So let's bring it all home. The ring symbol. It may not always mean dig here, but it almost always means look closely. It's a sign of value, of boundaries, of coded placement. When placed correctly in the terrain, the ring becomes a gatekeeper to something valuable, sacred, or hidden, used with other signs, measured with intent, and studied with logic. It becomes a key symbol in your treasure hunting journey. Thanks for tuning in to Treasure Hunters Club. If you've ever found a ring sign in an interesting location, tell us in the comments. Where was it? What did you find nearby? What do you think it meant? Until next time, think like a symbol, walk like a seeker, dig like a scholar, and as always, happy hunting.